All right. Welcome all of my fellow human hackers to video number 1 of week number 2 in the Cell Ops program, which is of course titled the Human Hacking Alchemy Script. This is going to be a super insightful video that is going to show each and every one of you how to take all the high-level psychology and science that you learned in week 1 and apply it directly to a human hacking alchemy script. Now, this is going to be a high-level overview of what a human hacking alchemy script is actually comprised of, what's the facets that make it so successful and so powerful. So we're going to be taking all the frame control and psychology and rapport and all those strategies that we discussed in week 2 through intel gathering, elicitation, high-level mind tricks, and of course influence and persuasion. And we're going to be wrapping all that psychology into your human hacking alchemy script. So let's go ahead and kick off today's video and jump into it and get rocking and rolling and talk about today's actual agenda. So again, this is week number 2, video number 1 of the Cell Ops program. And in today's video, we're going to start by talking about what is the alchemy of human hacking and why is it so damn powerful. Second, we're going to talk about the science behind the alchemy of human hacking. Third, we're going to talk about important things to remember about the scientific psychology-based cells that we've been discussing. And last but not least, we're going to actually go in to the multiple facets that make up a human hacking alchemy script. So before we jump into this, as always, do whatever you've got to do. Give me your undivided attention. Close out of any other distractions that you have open on your PC. Place your phones on silent and grab a notebook and a pen because you're definitely going to want to take notes here today. So let's rock and roll and start with part number 1, the power of human hacking. Now, the first step to truly becoming a human hacker is understanding that it is not your job to sell a product or a service. It is your job to find out what the prospect's current situation is and what their desired situation is and bridge the gap between those two situations with your product, your service, your expertise, or whatever it is that you sell. It's so often that I hear sales professionals, oh, will this work for credit repair? Will this work for car sales? Will this work for this and that and this? It is all the same. Every customer that you service has a current situation, and if you can do your job correctly, you can agitate that situation and figure out where they want to go, which is their desired situation. Our services and products just bridge that gap between those two situations. That is what you sell. It's the same every single time. So for example, you don't sell a mortgage, you sell a home. You don't sell a drill, you sell a hole. You don't sell a $65,000 AP because it tells time. You sell the status that the watch brings. You don't sell body armor, you sell a life. You don't sell a vacation, you sell the experience the vacation provides. You don't sell silicone and fake breasts. You sell the confidence and the beauty that the breast augmentation actually provides. You don't sell a supplement. You sell the possibility of losing weight by consuming that supplement. You don't sell sales training just to sell sales training. You sell sales training because it generates revenue. That's what the sales training provides, right? It's all cause and effect. So too many people get stuck on what they sell and they never understand what really goes in, the science behind motivating somebody to take action on something that maybe they don't know that they even need. Maybe it's a product or service that they don't quite understand. Once you start looking at sales and social engineering and human hacking this way, it's simply a mind shift change. That's it. That's all it is. So that's the first start, and that's the first component of the power of human hacking. You must make this mind shift or you will never make it to your full potential. Now, as master human hackers, we can create separation from an agitated current situation to a clearly defined desired situation. And what human hackers can do is they can position themselves and their offer as the bridge that gets the prospect from their current situation, which is over here, to their desired situation, which is over here, and they can do that with ease. If you want to become a true human hacker, You must make this mind shift and shift it to the fact that you are no longer in the business of selling a product or a service. You are now in the business of selling a future. And the moment that all of you make that mind shift, you will become unstoppable once you have convicted yourself that this is what your job is every single day. For example, I've sold $40,000 a month SEO retainers, and I don't know the first freaking thing about search engine optimization. I've sold $20,000 a month legal retainers for an attorney, and to be quite frank, I don't know the first thing about law. I never went and got a degree in law. So that's how I'm able to do it. I'm able to jump into businesses in completely different industries and roll into companies cold and flip them and double them and increase their revenue and make them more efficient and optimize their sales operations and their sales people because I understand this particular psychology. This is what's made all the difference in my game. Nobody teaches this. Nobody understands this. This is what your job is to do as a sales professional, and it is the same process every single time. Every single interaction that I jump into, I start with finding the prospect's current situation through elicitation and agitating it. Once I've determined where their current situation is at, I got to find where their desired situation is. And then once I have these two situations defined, all my product, all my service, all my expertise does is bridge the gap between those two situations with conviction and confidence. That's all that I'm doing. And that's what makes what I do extremely powerful when I do it. And the good news is, no matter what level your prospect is at, everyone has a current situation and a desired situation. The guy making $100K a year wants to make $500,000 a year. The guy making $50 million a year wants to make $200 million a year. The guy making $1 billion a year, who's in the 3 comma club and a damn billionaire, he wants to make it to $2 or $3 billion a year. It's the same effort that goes into it every time. You're just selling to different people. Doesn't matter what the level is. Happiness comes from progression. We're all chasing something. That's what keeps us alive. Ask yourself, why do billionaires continue to work? Because they're operating at their full potential. They're chasing their full potential. That's what they're chasing. So we all have a desired situation, and we always will. And we're continuing to chase, and that desired situation continues to evolve. And we do this our entire life unless we're clinically depressed or have some psychological issues and have no ambitions and have no goals. In that case, I can't help you, a psychologist will. But majority of sane people that operate and run businesses that are in C-suite roles or CEOs of companies or founders, they've all got the same thing. And even our low-level prospects that we're selling products to, it could be a $99 product. It's the same thing every single time. So it's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's not about working more. It's about working less and getting more. And that's what this mind shift and that's what evolving into a human hacker is going to show you to do. It's going to show you exactly how less can equal more. Now, I want to talk about where we start on an interaction. So majority of us in this program, we sell virtually, we sell in person, we sell a million different ways. But let's talk about the phone call, for example, or any interaction. This falls under every single interaction that we go into. Every call or every interaction always starts with two frames colliding together. Now, frames, they don't collaborate. They collide, they clash, they crash into one of each other, and one frame wins every single time. And if we fail to nail our open as social engineers and human hackers, build rapport, take control of the frame by setting the agenda at the beginning of call, we'll get stuck in the reptile brain. And when we get stuck in that reptile brain, in the back of the brain, what ends up happening is we can't move to the limbic or the neocortex side of the brain. And unfortunately, cells aren't made in the reptile brain. They're made in the limbic and the neocortex of the brain. This is the emotional and illogical side of the brain. So if you can never make it past the reptile brain, you're never going to be able to influence and persuade your prospect to take action on something that they need to grow their business or to protect their lives or to, decrease their electric bill, whatever it is that you're selling. Now, every call that we jump into and every interaction, we start in the reptile brain. And what our goal at the beginning of the call is on our open is to get away from that part of the brain as quickly as possible so we can start working with the neocortex and the limbic brain like a deck of cards. Now, you guys are going to never make a sell if you're stuck in the reptile brain, in the croc brain. This is not where sales happens. This is where you lose control. This is where the close never comes. This is where there's all this resistance in the call, right? And if you don't get out of that, you're never going to make a sale. You're never going to influence or persuade someone. So if you come into a call and you've got bad energy and you haven't slept and you get on the call and your energy's off and you're not building rapport and you're super tired, you're stuck in the crocodile brain. And when you're stuck in the crocodile brain, you can't make it to the actual pieces of the brain that make decisions. So as all of you roll into these calls, you must remember that you are the expert. You do not need their business or their money. They need your expertise. There is 7.4 billion people that you can sell to on this planet. You are the prize. You're the vehicle that gets them from their current situation to their desired situation. And true professionals who are in demand, they will never come off as neediness. If that crocodile brain senses one bit of scarcity, one bit of neediness, it'll shut down and the call's over in the first 5 minutes, and you're going to keep pitching, you're going to keep pushing, and you're going to finally realize what happened with that call. Well, that's what happened with the call. You were stuck in the croc brain. You never made it to the emotional or limbic side of the brain because you set yourself up to fail. Now, you guys have to remember that you are the prize. You are not here to perform for money. That's not how these interactions will go. You are the prize and you have the prize. And you will decide if the prospect is worthy enough to have the prize. You will decide if they get the gates to the kingdom. You have the power. You have what they want. That is how you have to operate in these interactions. Now remember, we've quoted this before. People want what they can't have. They chase that which moves away from them, and they only value the things that they pay for, right? People want what they can't have. They chase that which moves away from them, and they only value the things that they pay for. That statement is extremely powerful. So let your prospects chase you. Move away from them and make them pay for your expertise. Always. Now, I want to show an example of this. I do not chase business. Business chases me. I do not need their money. They need me. I do not do business with people that I don't like or align with. If they can't stick to their word and we can't start off a relationship in a ethical manner without them stalling and objecting and ducking and hiding, I will decline doing business with them altogether. I'm not going to work with somebody that I have the interest of their business in my best interest more than they do. It's not going to be a fit. Nobody can help them. Jesus Christ, Donald Trump, nobody can help a prospect like that. If they have limiting beliefs about themselves and I have to be more committed to their business than them, I already know that I'm not going to work with that prospect. I'm going to do a deal, collect money, it's going to fail, and it's going to blow up. I know that right off the bat. So the type of stuff that I typically sell, not only are we doing deals, but we're looking to do deals with the right people. I would rather turn away business than bring in a bad deal, and it took me years to understand that. And if you're in a CEO position building a sales team and you're selling something sophisticated and high ticket, it's important that you can put that quality control in there some way, or you're going to have PR issues, you're going to have press issues, and you're going to have customers that you did everything right with that have limiting beliefs, don't have the resources, don't have the finances, and act hostile and stupid online. It will happen. So remember, if the prospect doesn't buy you, they're going to take that money and go buy someone else. That's what happens every single call. They're either closing you on why your product's not a fit, or you're closing them on why it is. You're closing them on why you're certain that this product can take them from their current situation to their desired situation, or they're closing you on why it doesn't. Either or, someone's getting closed. Just don't let it be you. And remember, quality attracts quality. Desperation attracts desperation. So here's an example of that off to the right of today's video on the actual slide. Here is an individual that has been trying to do business with me for quite some time. And context on this, I've been on 3 calls with him, didn't bill him. They were probably about an hour a call. We go through it. He understands it. He agrees that it's the one thing that he needs to grow his business. We get off. I send a contract. He never views the contract. He ducks, and then he repeats this process over and over because he has limiting beliefs. He has limiting beliefs about himself. He has limiting beliefs about his potential, and he is not someone that I want to work with. So here's an email here recently. He's doing this crazy little cycle over again. Dakota, it's time to talk again. How are you? Do you have time next week to talk to Spencer and I about building us a webinar? AJ. Well, 1, it's not time to talk again. So then I forward it to an individual, and then I reply. Hey, brother, I hope all is well with you. I'm rocking and rolling as always. I'd love to, man, and I know for a fact that we could do some great stuff together, but I'm not taking on any more private clients until January of next year. If anything else changes, would you like for me to reach out? He then replies and says, all good, my man. Glad to hear you are doing well. What are the non-private client work that you do? Yes, we would like to work with you before January. Is there anything else that you offer? Now, I let this sit for like 5 days before I reply to this. And when I did reply to this, I came back and I said, hey, I can get you into my webinar coaching program. It's $4,500. You can go through that if you want to try to build it yourself. Or, if you want something done before January, I could help you, but it's going to come at a price, and it's going to take, me 6 months to build if you retain me. And I basically, quoted him at 150 grand. And guess what he did? Poof, gone. Because I originally quoted him at 45,000. So due to him doing what he did, installing me, I meant when I told him that I'm not going to be able to service you, and I'm not going to be able to do it for this price if you don't get back to me within 14 days and sign this contract, where it's not going to work. So here he is. Now it's convenient for him, and he's coming back and thinking that I didn't mean that. Well, I did mean that, and I would rather not do this deal than do this deal. That's why I jacked the price through the roof and figured, shit, if he can pay that much, I'll make it worth it. But if not, oh well, I don't need 45 grand. I don't need his money. And there we go. So that's how you got to play these games, guys. Now, let's talk about part number 2 of the Human Hacking Alchemy script. Before you jump into an interaction, the pre-call preparation that goes into the actual interaction. Now, 1, it's very important that you guys are in an office with no distractions or a closed door. I'm recording this video right now, and as you can see, I am in an office. There's a sign on my door that says I am recording, and I am in a good environment to where I can focus and do what I need to do. That's important. Comes with recording. It falls into, your sales calls. Falls into a couple of things. So make sure that you're in a good environment to where you can really optimize what you're doing and not get distracted. Step number 2, if you're taking a Zoom or a Google Hangout call, make sure your phone is on silent and out of reach. There is nothing more annoying than getting distracted on a call and not being able to give that prospect your undivided attention. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing your commissions a disservice. You're doing the prospect a disservice. Multitasking is the art of fucking multiple things up at once. Give it your undivided attention, just like I ask you to do with this training, so you can get the most out of it, right? 3rd, close out any of your emails that you have open on your PC. Close out of your Slack. Close out of your instant messenger. Close out of everything else that you're doing and focus on clearly defining the prospect's current situation and their desired situation, and then concluding by bridging that gap, getting into the close, getting over the rebuttals, getting over the objections, isolating them, and closing the actual deal. So make sure you don't have a bunch of distractions and 500 windows open on your PC. Very simple. If you're taking the call from a computer, do not use a laptop's external microphone. It sounds like shit. It is absolutely terrible. It is a bad customer experience. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. Getting on the phone with somebody who's a subject matter expert who's going to show me how to improve my business, and they can't even improve the quality of their call by coming prepared with a microphone so I can understand what the fuck they're saying. Right? Makes no sense. Make sure you come prepared. That's it. Sit your ass down. Make sure you've got a good mic. Make sure you're doing whatever you need to do. Now, if you are in an environment where you don't have a big Yeti microphone, and if you're a part of Omega going through this, I'm not telling you all of your sales reps need a $200 Yeti microphone with a big boom stick. I'm not saying that by any means. What I'm saying is, if you aren't doing that and they don't need a boom mic and a big microphone, at least purchase them a set of good high-end gaming headphones with a high-quality microphone. Alienware is a great brand. Crosshair is a great brand. At least set them up to where, one, they got good speakers. They can hear. They're immersed in the call no matter what's going around with them. If you're running a big boiler room like I have out there, I've got 6 guys in the middle of that room, and, they're pretty close to each other. Well, in that situation, I need a microphone with noise cancellation, and I need 7.1 surround sound. I need them to be immersed in the call to where they're not distracted, and also the prospect can't hear other people in the room. So Alienware, for example, we use those. They're about $99 a headset. Crosshair, that's another one we use. Both of those are very good. I've listened to the Gong recordings like I do every single week of all of my salespeople, and you cannot hear anything around them. So make sure that they're using good headphones. Don't give them shit quality stuff. You're setting them up to fail. Next, always tell the prospect that the call is being recorded, and always record the call unless the prospect asks you not to. So here at all the companies I consult for, all of my personal companies, if a rep does not record the call, they do not get commissions on the deal, even if the deal closes. That's how important call recordings are to me. 1, something goes wrong, you have everything documented. 2, I can improve those calls. I can, go through, recraft those calls. I can show them what they did wrong. I can show them where their emotional side is and their tonality. If I'm coaching somebody through tonality, I can literally break apart everything that they do in real time. And Gong allows me to use AI and do really, really complex shit, which if you're an Omega, I'm going to show you how to do some of the most ninja stuff that you're ever going to see when it comes to salespeople and optimizing, their own potential through Gong. Next piece here, have a pen and a paper in front of you and take notes as always. Always take notes. Next thing, every call is a new call. Leave the past in the past. The past is not welcome here. When you go into a call, I don't care how bad of a freaking day you have had, you bring the energy, you bring the enthusiasm, and just remember, you only have to be right once, and this one call could be that deal. Don't fuck it up. Final, last but not least, be sure that you tell the prospect that you only have X amount of time for the call, whether that's an hour and a half, 55 minutes, whatever, and make sure you set that time frame at the beginning of the call. So as you can see here, we have Gunner, great environment, got his inspiration up on his wall. He has his 7.1 surround sound Crosshair headphones with a microphone that is noise cancellation. He's in a great environment. He has a clean environment, and he's getting ready to process a payment right there on our merchant provider. So there's that. Second piece here, after pre-call preparation, once you're prepared and the call actually opens, what do we go into? Well, we go into the open, we go into the rapport, and we go into one of the most important parts of the call, which is where you are going to set your first impression. Now, don't let anybody lie to you. First impressions can be last impressions, and first impressions do matter. So you want to make sure that you give the first impression that represents you best, that sets you up and shows that you are the subject matter expert, right? And to do that, you got to do a couple of things. The first piece, you got to come into the call with energy. So what I would recommend, just like Bobby's doing in the intro of his call, he's standing up in that call. Why is he standing up right there? Well, I'll tell you why he's standing up. Standing up for me, and what I like to teach my people, is a way of anchoring yourself. So, for example, when you get into your elicitation, when the prospect starts telling their story, you go back to 2 ears and 1 mouth. You listen because the prospect is going to tell you everything that you need to sell them. However, when you're opening, you need to anchor yourself to bring the energy to shift, to come in and be powerful, be a force to be reckoned with, be an expert, be sharp as a tack, and bring all of that energy to where they can feel the enthusiasm on the other line just flowing through them, right? That's very, very important to do. So here's how we're going to do that. First line is your open. This is your opening statement. You must nail this line and you must bring the energy. Okay? So let's go through this together real quick. Good afternoon, John. Dakota here, head of corporate sales at Luxvoni Marketing Solutions. How are you, sir? Good afternoon, John. Dakota here, head of corporate sales at Luxvoni Marketing Solutions. How are you, sir? Good afternoon, John. Dakota here, head of corporate sales at Safe Life Defense. How are you, sir? You got to bring the energy. Good afternoon, John. Dakota here, head of corporate sales at Safe Life Defense. How are you, sir? Good afternoon, John. Dakota here, head of corporate sales at Safe Life Defense. How are you, sir? Different canvases, right? Next piece. How are you, sir? He comes back, great. That's what I like to hear, my man. I'm talking to a bright mind like yourself. So honestly, John, I couldn't be any better, but I appreciate you asking. You guys out in Houston, Texas, am I correct? Okay. Galveston's a great place. I spent about 90 days out there. Great barbecue, great women, tons of water, tons of fun. What's not to love? I feel you, man. So just out of curiosity, what motivated you guys to schedule this call with me? And what are you looking to accomplish from this call just so I can make sure a good expectation is set and I accomplish it? Simple as that. So let's go through it one more time. We stand up. We're loose. We're not tight. We're a force to be reckoned with. We're dressed up how we want to be addressed because you need to dress how you want to be addressed, and you need to bring that game. So here we are. We're coming into the call. Call rings, ring, 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 boom. Good afternoon, John. Dakota here, head of corporate sales at Safe Life Defense. How are you, sir? Great, man. That's what I like to hear. I'm talking to a bright mind like yourself. So honestly, John, I couldn't be any better, but I do appreciate you asking, my man. You guys in Houston, am I right? Okay. I spent actually about 90 days out in Galveston, Texas. Took my boat down there, had a great time, beautiful women, great barbecue, great environment, tons of water. What's not to love, my man? I feel you. Yeah, I'm out here in Vegas right now. Yeah, so not a lot of water, not a lot of rain, but I'm enjoying it. I've been wanting to be here for, I was thinking about moving to Vegas 16, 17 years old. So I made it and, I'm enjoying it, but I'd definitely like to get out there to Houston sometime and enjoy that Tiki Island a little bit. I feel you, man. So just out of curiosity, what motivated you guys to schedule this call with me today? And what are you guys really looking to accomplish through this call, if you don't mind me asking? Boom. Simple as that. One more time. Good afternoon, John. Dakota here, head of corporate sales at Safe Life Defense. How are you, sir? That's what I like to hear. I'm talking to a bright mind like yourself, so I couldn't be any better, but I do appreciate you asking, my man. You guys in Houston, Texas, am I correct? Okay, and just out of curiosity, John, what motivated you guys to schedule today's call? I mean, what are you looking to accomplish from today's call, if you don't mind me asking? See how I did that? So listen, you've got 4 to 10 seconds to make a good first impression. Motion creates emotion. Anchor yourself by standing up in your open so the prospect can feel the enthusiasm and the passion on the other end of the phone call. They need to feel that. They need to know that they're on the phone with a professional, a force to be reckoned with, somebody worth listening to, and somebody who is super positive and has their life in order. A lot of salespeople call, they're beat up, they're burnt out. Hey, John, you so-and-so with this company. I want to show you how to make more leads. Nobody wants to listen to that shit. You come into the game powerful. You're an expert. You're a force to be reckoned with. Don't lose your status and your open. If you don't nail this, you will fall into the crocodile brain. You'll never get out of it. You'll be stuck here the entire call. So this is how you get out of that crocodile brain. You got to do this right off the bat. Good afternoon, John. Dakota here, head of dealer sales at Safe Life Defense. How are you, sir? Great, man. That's what I like to hear. I'm talking to a bright mind like yourself, so honestly, John, I couldn't be any better, but I do appreciate you asking. You guys out in Houston, Texas, am I correct? Okay. And just out of curiosity, John, what motivated you guys to schedule this call with me, and what exactly are you looking to accomplish from this call with me? Boom, I'm powerful in the first sentence. I apply scarcity, lower my voice, create some intrigue. That's what I like to hear. I'm witty, I'm building some rapport. You guys working hard today, hardly working. Couple of different things you could do here. You guys in Houston, Texas, right? Boom, he comes back. We're building rapport about Houston, talking about Houston. I spent some time in Houston, love Houston, Galveston, Tiki Island, blah, blah, blah. And then finally, boom. Just out of curiosity, brother, what motivated you to schedule the call? And what are you looking to accomplish from this call? So I can make sure you're accommodated and, of course, serviced, right? Simple as that. So that's what you want to do on your open. Next piece, part number 4, you got to set the frame. You got to set the intention, set the agenda. You got to put the frames in so the prospect knows that you're an expert of somebody worth listening to. Now, if you don't do this, they can win the frame. If you've ever talked to a prospect who just dominated the call the entire time, and he was super high maintenance on the call, you couldn't talk much, we've all had those prospects. This is how you fix that, because if you can win the frame, you'll control the interaction. And by controlling the interaction, you control the menu, and whoever controls the menu controls the outcome, right? So here's how you want to do this. The first thing you want to do is you always want to set that time frame. No matter what the circumstances are, you always set a time frame. Why? Time frames are very important. It shows the prospect that you do have other prospects, that you do have other customers, that you don't have unlimited amounts of time, that you are a high status individual that is in demand, right? So here's how we do that. Well, John, I do want to be respectful of your time today. I've only got an hour before my next appointment, so I do have a hard stop at 10:55. So let's go ahead and jump into it and get this party started. But before we do, I do want to start this relationship off with just setting some clear expectations up for us, if you will. Our firm does work a bit differently than most. We're extremely selective with the individuals that we decide to partner with. And instead of focusing on quality, we focus on quantity. Or instead of focusing on quality, we focus on quantity. Instead of focusing on quantity, we focus on quality. So don't trip that up right there. But watch what I'm doing. Prize frame, intrigue frame, intrigue frame. So let's go through it one more time. We get done with the small talk. We open, boom. What motivated you? Great. Well, John, I do want to be respectful of your time today. I've only got an hour before my next appointment, so I do have a hard stop at 10:55 today. So let's jump into it. But before we do, I do want to be completely transparent with you and just set some clear expectations up front for us on this call together. Our firm does work a bit differently than most. We are extremely selective with the individuals that we partner with, and instead of focusing on quantity, we really pride ourselves on focusing on quality. So let's start today's call with you telling me a little bit about you, your company, your ambitions, your goals. Then I can spend some time showing you what we do, who we do it for, and how we do it so well. Fair enough? Look at what I just did. Not one frame, I framed stacked. I've set 4 frames in just a minute. Doesn't take that long to go through. Now, you don't have to be super fast-paced. You can slow down, work on your tonality. Remember, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. So make sure you do this. You're still building that impression. At this point, you've made it out of the crocodile brain. You're working up into the limbic and the neocortex. You're making it there. And this part's going to really anchor that and allow you to start just hacking those pieces of the brain. Okay? So very, very important there. Intrigue frame is set. Prize frame is set. Prize frame is set. Intrigue frame is set. Time frame is set. We stacked all these frames. Now guess what? He's going to be obedient and we're going to win the frame. And if we win the frame, we win the deal. So that's how that works. Now look here. Once I get done with this, setting the agenda, setting the frame control, I always do one thing. Once I get done and say that's fair enough, I say, so John, tell me about you, right? Because sometimes when you pause here, it's an awkward moment. So I just pause and I say, fair enough. He says, yes. I say, so tell me about you, John. So then he goes in and starts telling me about him, all about him. Now, what are we doing here? People love to talk about themselves. We're stroking his ego. We flipped the tables. We've disrupted the entire call. He thought he was going to get sold today. Every other sales professional that he's talked to, it's a sales call. This ain't a sales call. This is a discovery call to see if me and you are a good fit. And then we may talk about doing business together. So he gets on this call. He's not ready to pitch you. His presentation's not ready. He didn't know that he'd be pitching. Now he's got to pitch. So what you want to do here is you want to listen. You want to build more intel and gather more information. Grab out your notebook and pen and anchor yourself by sitting down. This will tell you to be quiet, to listen, to gather intel, and to just stay quiet and listen to the prospect. So this is very difficult for some people. You just need to shut up. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Sit here, let the prospect talk. Do not butt in. Do not overtake the call. This is the prospect's time to shine, and if you listen, this prospect will tell you everything that you need to sell them. If you just listen, okay? So the prospect tells you about him, his ambitions, his goals, whatever it may be. And then what is it naturally to do after this? Once he pauses, once he stops with his conversation, it's natural that we go into elicitation, right? Because now this prospect thinks that, wow, these guys are interested in what I have. They have great questions. They don't know that we're reading off this script. And even if they do, they don't really care. Because now they're all hot. They've been talking about themselves. Cool. Now we're asking questions. Man, this guy really cares about me and my business. So the first question that we're going to ask him, real simple. Once he gets done talking about his story. So, John, tell me who's your ideal customer. Second question. What sets you guys up different than your competitors? Like, what's your why? Why do people buy from you over everyone else? Third question. What's your current sales process from a stranger to a paying client of yours? Okay. And what paid media channels are you guys currently leveraging to generate customers on demand? All right. And what is it currently costing you to acquire a customer, John? Okay. And how much money are you guys spending per month on marketing? All right. And how much revenue did you guys generate last month? All right. And how much revenue do you want to generate per month? Okay. And John, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you from going to that current situation, which is $100,000 a month, to that desired situation, which is $500,000 a month, on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being you wouldn't pick up the extra $500,000 a month if you seen it falling down the damn road, or 10 being you were absolutely willing to do whatever it takes to get it. Okay, so you're looking to go from $100K a month to $500K a month. You're extremely motivated. You're willing to do whatever it takes. What do you think's been holding you back from achieving this in, let's just say, the last 6 months? Okay. Now, once we get done with the elicitation, we hear it. Now we make our recommendation, but we do it through a third-party recommendation. So here's how we do that. Well, based on previous clients that I've helped John get to well over to $500,000 per month that share a very similar business to yours, here's exactly what you're going to need to do to get there in an efficient and a very fast manner. And then we're going to walk the prospect through whatever demo that we recommend or whatever it is. For example, at Luxvoni, we're selling a funnel. If it's a speaker who wants to be the next Tony Robbins, we have Tony Robbins' funnel. We walk them through a demo of Tony Robbins' funnel, and then we wrap it in more third-party story. Now, this webinar has done $10 million a month for Russell Brunson over at ClickFunnels.com. It's done $3 million a month for Sam Ovens over at Consulting.com, and it's done well over $500,000 a month for for us here at Luxvoni, which is why I can damn near guarantee this is the most effective way to take you from 100K a month to 500K a month with measurability, with accountability, and with predictability down to the dollar and the day. See that? There's conviction in all this. Well, based on previous clients that I've helped get to well over X amount per month that also share a very similar business to yours, here's what you're going to need to do. Walk the prospect through a detailed demo. So, visual, kinesthetic, auditorial, we talked about those things in week 1. I sell something very complicated at Luxvoni. Funnels. People don't even understand how to succeed with basic marketing, and now you're talking about these big, massive funnels. It's very difficult for me to sell that through auditorial. I've got to give a visual as well. So how would I do that? I take them through an actual webinar funnel. I'll take them through mine. I'll take them through Ovens's. I'll take them through ClickFunnels. I'll take them through one that has already been super successful. And then I just wrap it. Maybe you don't do $100 million the first year, but could we do 5? Do you think with your talent, your team, your expertise, and my team and my expertise, that we couldn't do 5% as well as Russell Brunson did last year? Of course we could. Well, that's $5 million in newfound revenue for you. For what's the worst that could happen? See what I'm saying? So there's your third-party recommendation. Very important. Always make a third party. Wrap the results that they're looking to do into somebody else that you've helped get similar results. And then you can even build social proof and authority by using big names if you represent those big names as clients. So that's what I did here. Russell Brunson, Sam Ovens, myself. I'm wrapping it in this big third-party narrative to where they can get immediate social proof and authority by the recommendation that I'm making. And then I am stating this is why I can guarantee you that this is the most effective way to get you from 100K to $500,000 a month with predictability, measurability, and accountability. Certainty in that. Now, once we get done with that recommendation there, the third-party recommendation, we go into a 2-option close. And we do that by building something like this. So, John, there's really 2 ways I could help you. I can come into your organization as your virtual chief marketing officer. I could build out your funnel, your webinar, your automation, and your ads. My team and I can focus on what we do best, and you can focus on what you do best. And together, I honestly think we could build something massive right off the gate, right off the start, and get this bad boy right on the first shot. But this option does come with a very, very strict criteria and a very high ticket price point for this type of accommodation. Of course, with more commitment from us comes more commitment from you. Or option number 2, I can just give you this exact 8-figure webinar blueprint, a link to download it into your own ClickFunnels account, along with the entire ads library of all the ads that have been ran, and all the email automation that goes with it. My team and I can show you how to rebrand it, how to make it yours, plus give you a bit of guidance as you go through the process, and show you a little bit about how to execute it as well. Which of these 2 options do you see best suiting you? Now, the prospect is going to tell us. This is a high ticket and a low ticket. Always have 2 tiers. If you've got a low ticket prospect, you can downsell them. If you've got a high ticket prospect, you can upsell them. If you start at the high ticket, you get to the close, they can't afford the high ticket, you can go to the low ticket. It's vetted for them to tell you what they want to be sold. Not everybody wants a high ticket done for you offer. Not everybody wants a done with you offer. And majority of people do not want a do it yourself offer. Okay? You got to give them multiple options here. Always have a 2-option close. Always. No matter what the circumstances are. You can go as high as a 3-option close. I don't like going past 3-option because it's too many options. It confuses the prospect, and confused buyers do what? They don't fucking buy. Does that make sense? All right, perfect. Once we get done with the 2-option close, we go into our high ticket close if they pick the high ticket close. So let's say I'm on the phone with a prospect. The prospect tells me, man, I don't really want to do any of this. I want you to do what you're best at. I want you guys to come in and build this bad boy out for me. You're the experts. I don't want to get involved. I want you guys to just do what you do. I would come back and I'd say, okay, cool. So let me ask you a question, and this is an important one. Let's say without a shadow of a doubt, I came in and took you from 100K a month to 300K a month, which is basically $3.4 million in newfound revenue. And I asked you to trade $50K one time to generate $3.4 million. Would you agree that that's a pretty damn good investment? Yeah, of course. Wall Street promises 12% a year. That's like 1,200% a month, if you will. But exactly. So let's say I extend this invitation to you today to become one of my private clients. And let's say my secretary sent you over a contract, and at the top of that contract, you see $50,000 crossed out in red. And directly beside that, you see $24,000 if paid up front, or 3 installments of $8,900 over 90 days. Would you sign that contract within 7 days, or would I have to chase you around to get you to commit to growing your business? Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to let you dictate where this relationship goes, John. You're going to be receiving a document from DocuSign within the next 24 hours. Once we send this out, my assistant is going to shoot you an email and a text message just so we can make sure no balls are dropped on our end. If you don't mind, just common courtesy, when she does text you or email, at least reply to one form of those two communications to let her know that we didn't drop any balls and didn't send it to the wrong email. That's all that we ask. And once the contract is delivered in your inbox, you will notice it does have a 7-day window on it. And if it's not signed within those 7 days, this is really not a priority for you. And I can't do what I do best unless this is truly a priority for you. So if it isn't signed within 7 days, I can't promise you that I'm going to be able to service you. And if I do, it will not be for the $24,000 discounted rate. It will have to be for the $50,000 retail rate. And then you want to be quiet. And then after that, if you have any questions or need clarity on the agreement, just reach out to reply to my assistant, Kat's email, and she'll be happy to give you clarity, give you revisions, make any type of amendments that you need made. Fair enough. All right, cool, man. Well, we'll get this drafted for you today and sent out to you first thing in the morning. Do you have any questions for me? Simple as that. So that's a high ticket close. Go through this one more time. Okay, cool. So let me ask you a question, and this is an important one. Let's say without a shadow of a doubt, John, I came into your organization and I took you from $100K a month to $300,000 a month, which is $3.4 million a year. And let's say theoretically, I asked you to trade $50,000 one time to generate $3.4 million. Would you agree that that's a good investment? Yeah, I would too, exactly. So let's say I extended the invitation to you today to become one of my personal private VIP clients. And let's say my secretary sent you over a contract, and at the top of that contract, you seen $50,000. However, it was crossed out in red, and directly beside it in green, you seen $24,000 if it was paid up front, or 3 installments of $8,900 over 90 days. My question to you, John, is would you sign that agreement if I put a 7-day window on it, or would I have to chase you around for 7 days to get you to commit to growing your business? Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to let you dictate where this relationship goes, man. You're going to receive a DocuSign from us within the next 24 hours. My assistant is going to shoot you an email once it is sent, just to make sure no balls are dropped on our end. Once you get that email, if you cannot ghost her and actually reply and let us know and confirm that you would receive it, that would be greatly appreciated. Once the contract is delivered to your inbox, you'll notice it does have a 7-day window on it, just like I mentioned a second ago. If it is not signed within that 7 days, this shows me that this is not a priority for you, and I can't help you unless growing your business is a priority for you. I can't be more committed to this deal than you are committed to this deal. So this comes with a high level of commitment level from both of us. So if you can get this signed within 7 days, great. If you can't, I, 1, can't promise you that I can service you, and 2, if I can, it will not be for the $24,000 or a payment plan. It will be for the $50,000 upfront paid in full. So if you have any questions or need any clarity on this agreement, just reach out and reply to my assistant Kat's email, and she'll be happy to make anything clear for you, help you with revisions, amendments, anything that you need to make this perfect for you. Fair enough? All right, cool, man. Well, we're going to get this drafted for you today and sent over to you first thing in the morning. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, great. Well, I think this is going to be a lucrative partnership for the both of us. I look forward to getting that agreement back within the next 7 days. And as soon as you get that back to me, I will go ahead and schedule your Kickstarter call. Typically, I don't do these calls personally. My staff does, but I will go ahead and throw that into your agreement as well. You're going to get 2 VIP calls with me. One, your Kickstarter call, and then I'm going to check in halfway through your actual deal and see if you need anything and go from there. Fair enough? Cool, man. Awesome. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Simple as that. You guys seen how that all came together? Low ticket close, same thing. With a low ticket close here, you're not going to really want to go into a contract. If you've got a low ticket close, this is how I would do a low ticket close. I would follow the same exact process, and I would go in, and he says, just give me the template or whatever. I'd say, cool. So typically, John, this template comes with an investment of $4,900. And what we have seen is the people that do the best with this particular template, they're typically certain people. And when I say certain, John, I mean they're typically certain about their potential, about their beliefs, about their decisions, and they're action-oriented people, which is why we created something for these people called incentive-based pricing. To where if we can make a decision today and get this funnel template over to you this evening to where you can get started on it, I can actually knock off half of that, and this funnel template's only going to run $2,200 for you today. And then pause. He's going to give an objection. Objections are going to start. You're going to isolate the objection. You're going to overcome the objection, and you're going to go back and do a close, and you're going to ask for the money, and you're going to take a credit card. So low ticket, high ticket, always have both of them. Pitches are very easy. Value props are very easy. A low ticket, $2,400 program, $1,500 program. You know, if you're selling something like that, it's very, very simple to take the credit card over the phone. Selling super high ticket stuff, $25,000, a little bit different. You're going to want a contract there to protect you and the prospect. Okay? So there's that. That is the Human Hacking Alchemy script, and that's the process that we're going to take through going through this. So we've covered a little bit of everything today. We walked through one, the power of human hacking, and we talked about how you need to start selling futures and not products and services. We talked about as our job as human hackers is to find a current situation of a prospect, agitate it, find out their desired situation, and then bridge the gap as the human hacker between those two states. We went through all of these, talked about those. We talked about you guys are now in the future of selling futures, not products or services. We talked about there's levels to this. No matter what the prospect is, no matter what they do, every person on this planet, if they are mentally stable, they have a current situation and a desired situation. Here we talked about frame control, and we talked about the importance of opening on a call and getting past that croc brain, that reptile brain. We talked about prizing yourself and what you need to do going into these calls before you even start your pre-call preparation. We talked about the power of human hacking and going into that with the mindset of you don't need business, you don't chase business, business chases you. You don't need their money, money's everywhere. They need your talent because talent is not, it's scarce. We talked about pre-call preparation, what you need to do before you go into your particular call. We talked about the introduction and building rapport and how to open on a phone call correctly. We talked about anchoring yourself. We talked about motion creates emotion, and we talked about how to nail your open. After that open, we talked about going into actual frame control and setting those frames to stack the deck in your favor so you can win the interaction. We then talked about flipping this script and allowing the prospect to tell you their story and gathering intel. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. This is where we quiet and we sit down and we pay attention. We then talked about naturally leading into elicitation after the prospect pitches us. We talked about what these questions are. We went into Tell me who's your ideal customer, open-ended. We talked about what sets you apart from your competition, open-ended. We talked about what's the current sales process, open-ended. We talked about another open-ended. We talked about a closed-ended. We talked about a closed-ended. We talked about closed. We talked about closed. And then we talked about a closed, kind of a hybrid between the two, depending on where they want to take the conversation. So we talked about all that elicitation there. Some of these are assumptive questions. Some of them are loaded a little bit, but they are closed and open questions, stacked that way purposely. We then talked about a third-party recommendation and stating this with complete confidence and going into it and telling them you know with complete conviction this is the one thing that's going to help them do whatever they're looking to do, which is take them from their current to their desired situation. We talked about that 2-option transition. You always have a 2-option close. You can go as high as a 3-option close, but I would not get any more higher than that. I personally like to stick to 2 options. So option number 1 is the high ticket. It is the elite service. It is the best service. It is the best that you're ever going to get. And the low ticket is, lower. It's a average service that gets average results, not exceptional, so it's a low ticket and a high ticket. So in marketing agency world, this could be your done for you's $25,000 and your low ticket's $3,500. In a SaaS world, this could be the difference between a $9.99 a month program and a $47 a month program or a $97 a month program. If you're pitching somebody like me, I'm going to pick the best of the best all the time. I just have to. So don't stack the deck against you and not have a top tier and a low tier. And if you don't have one, make sure you create one. Make sure you talk to somebody about creating one in your business model. We then talked about the high ticket close and how we do that. I walked you through the entire process from start to finish of how I do that. And we didn't cover the low ticket close, but the low ticket close is the same thing as the high ticket close. I came off, hit it without a script. If I can do that, we can script this thing perfectly. So there's the high level overview of this. Now the next video is going to be something a little bit unique. We're going to be working in Google Docs. We're no longer going to be in slides, and I'm not going to be teaching you theory. I'm going to be building scripts and showing you from the ground up of how I do these from start to finish. And the first one that we're going to do together is a consulting client of mine who has paid me quite a bit of money to script this for one of their market verticals. So I want you to come with me on the next video and take this journey with me on the journey to truly having it all once you develop and once you build and once you learn how to craft your human hacking alchemy script. I think this is without a question or a doubt one of the most best talents that you can have. You can roll into sales organizations that are complete chaos and have order. You can easily become a VP, a national sales director. You're going to easily be able to build companies like I have done because you understand this. And it's going to be an exciting video. So I will see all of you on the next video, and we are going to start scripting these live. The rest of this week is all going to be live. We're going to be taking you through not just one script example of a consulting client who's paid me a lot of money for that particular script, but we're going to take you through some of the scripts that have made me millions upon millions of dollars, and I know for a fact will do the same for you. So enjoy your day. Be great. We'll talk soon, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, guys.